pursued by the Green Party.
Question number 4, Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development. Does she stand by her statement, quote, "No one wants to see young people floundering on benefits and we will keep the focus on our youth. However, evidence tells us the programs this government has introduced are making a difference"?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, yes. In fact, since I made that statement in July 2011, the total number of young people on benefit has fallen by 4,100 and 33,648 young people have cancelled their benefit to go into work.
Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Can she confirm the answers provided by questions to MSD that of the 1,300 young people who participated in the limited service volunteer course in the last year, more than 1,000 either failed to complete the course or were still on a benefit 3 months later?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, yes I can, and it's for a variety of reasons. So we have some that fall out early because of medical reasons. I mean, it's quite an active and quite an intense kind of course, and particularly in those first few weeks. We also have a number that fall out because they get homesick, to be honest, because they get away from home for the first time. We also have some that it doesn't suit. We're getting those numbers up as far as those that we're getting into training into work and have got a completely different way of looking at it.
Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Does she consider more than 50% of young people still being on a benefit after completing that program evidence that her program isn't making a difference, or that her government isn't making a difference and that the jobs just aren't there?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, actually LSV is making a difference, and we've seen the numbers. Well, if you want to listen to the answer, then just zip it, sweetie, I'm getting there. So what it is that actually what you've got is you've got a number of people that do fall out in the first few.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, I think you heard what the Minister said.
I certainly did not. I did not hear what the Minister said because the noise level was too high.
Well, Mr Speaker, we could hear it on this side, and I suggest that if you listened, you could have heard it. It was exceptionally offensive.
Order. I didn't hear what the Minister said. I honestly didn't, because the noise level was too high. When members interject excessively, they may get a reaction. However, if the Minister said something that has caused offence, I would ask her to withdraw it. But I don't know what she said. I'll leave it to the Minister.
So speaking to that point of order, Mr Speaker, what I said was zip it, sweetie, because she'd said within 3 weeks...
Order. No, I did not actually call the member to speak to a point of order. I actually asked her, order. That'll do. I asked the Minister if she had said something offensive to withdraw it. It would appear, though it wasn't, compared with other words, language I've heard used around this House, would appear that it wasn't that offensive. And it related to excessive interjections. The Minister says she said zip it.
No, she said zip it, sweetie. That's what she said.
Order. No, order. No, ask them that. No, order. Order, I'm now on my feet. Thank you. If we get too offended by that sort of thing, had it come out without provocation, I would have treated it far more seriously. But given that there was so much interjection, I couldn't even hear it. And members have got to think about this. If they interject excessively, they may get comments back that are not great. But if it was outrageously offensive, I would have required it to be withdrawn. But no one can say that's outrageously offensive. The Honourable... Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard. Order, a point of order has been called.
What? Mr Speaker, if that term was used to a member who was not a younger woman member in that sort of approach, I think you would find it offensive. We certainly found it offensive here, and Mr Speaker, I ask you whether that term is something which is appropriate. Zip it might have been all right, Mr Speaker, but not the rest.
Order. Look, there's a myth that there are certain terms in this House that are ruled out. It is a myth. There are none. Members should treat this place with respect, and this House and members each other with courtesy. If members interject in a rude manner, they may get a less than perfect reaction from the Minister. Now, the level of interjection was so high, I didn't hear what the Minister had said. Now, I accept my hearing is less than ideal. I fully accept that. I apologise for that. But I believe if we allow ourselves to get worked up over that, we're just being unnecessarily petty. And the solution is simple. Don't interject so much. It wasn't necessary. The member had asked a question and should be interested in the answer. And it was difficult to hear the answer. So the Minister felt provoked and said something that was less than ideal. But under the circumstances, I'm not going to ask the Minister to withdraw and apologise for it.
So I'm going to answer the question, if I might, Mr Speaker. So for the 50%, so what we've seen is an increase in the numbers that have actually been going into work and training in the last 12 months. What we have tried to do is get better connection into training establishments and into the workforce. So they now hold workforce seminars that are making a bit of a difference. We're seeing more connection into jobs. We have Work and Income working with them over the whole 6 weeks while they're in LSV. These are people that have been on benefit. It is not easy for them to find work, but we are getting better results more recently than we ever have, and I think we can continue to grow on that.
Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister, if there are jobs out there, why did the Prime Minister recently write letters to employers asking them to take on LSV graduates with the sweetener that they can be paid less?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Well, that sweetener is actually about us connecting them with the job streams, which means that they can get a part subsidy, which is something that the opposition are constantly calling out for. So it's effectively a wage subsidy that helps those people in the first 6 months in their jobs, or even through to a year now, and we individualise it more. The Prime Minister's pretty passionate about getting young people into work. The fact that he is now shouting out to employers and saying, here are some young people that are ready, that are active, that are turned on to the facts of going on to jobs, I'd like you to give them a chance. I think it's an absolutely positive stuff, and good on him for actually getting ahead of it.
Leo Fa'amulia Asanati Lole-Taylor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question to the Minister of Social Development: how can she stand by her answer to the primary question when unemployment among Pacific youth has reached up to 40% under this government?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, so the numbers that the member is talking about is actually around the HLFS and not about those that are on benefits. But we know there is work to be done. We have seen improvements with those numbers on the unemployment benefit since January 2011, when it peaked under the recession. We have been making headways with the numbers that are stuck on benefits over longer periods of time, and we think that we can continue to do that.
Jacinda Ardern.
Does the Minister believe that the job market is so bouncy that this is justification for her decision to change the number of times she reports on benefit figures from 12 times a year to just 4 times a year?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, let's be clear. We've got a whole new way of reforms that are going through under welfare. So what we are going to be seeing is an investment approach. We're going to be getting much better information out there that will be far more robust. And yes, actually things do change month to month. Reporting on a quarterly basis, which we've been signalling for more than 12 months now, I might like to say to the member, will show that we're being more robust and showing more information. I think that will make more sense.
Question number 5, Pesata Samlo Tuinga.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development.